process of how I put on doors or cabinets like this. These are the two drawers that I've made and that you've seen in the quick tidbits videos that I did a little bit ago. And what I've done is you can do this any way you want. Let me put this up here a little bit. You can do this any way you want. Measure it or whatever. Put it at, give as much distance that it closes up the cabinet doors. You can do however you want. The way I do it is I want a 1/2 inch all the way around that's being covered by the door. So that's what I've actually done. I've cut them, both of these doors, to cover that by a 1/2 inch. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to find the center of my openings, make lines, and find the center of the doors. Then I can line these up, and I'll know exactly where they need to screw down. So right now I'm just going to focus in on these two panels, show you what I do to square them up, what I do to put them together, and then they'll be ready for the install. Just because somebody tells you you have to measure something one way or another, they don't have problems with dyslexia. I do. So what I do is different than what some other people would do. So you do whatever works for you on your measurements, but just stick with it and use it all the time. Don't switch up back and forth on different ways of measuring. Somebody says, oh, you're measuring with a tape measure, it's always going to be the same. Make sure it's always right. I cut a number of times before I measure right. So, but anyway, so do what works for you, not what everybody tells you has to be done. Okay, that's the word of advice. So now the reason I drew my lines out, let me do this one over here. Because now when I set the cabinet door on top of it, I can still see my lines. But now comes the hinges. Pulled these off of some old cabinet that I took down and tore apart. So I've got 4 of them and a whole bag of screws from doing that one project. What I need here are the small screws, and I've got some in this bag. I am going to put these at 1.5 inches from the bottom of the door and the top. Plus, I've marked my tape on the drill bit. I don't know if you can see that. I marked my tape on the drill bit here so that when it goes drilling, I don't go too deep. This will tell me when to stop. Because you don't want to go through the on the opposite side of this one because I want to be away from the electrical outlets with the hinges. And again, 1.5. They say 1.5 to 2 inches, depending on your cabinet, of course. I'm pushing down because these are spring loaded, and that's what actually keeps the cabinet door shut. Another good reason to make sure that you drill these holes, so I'm so close to the edge here of the cabinet that it could have ripped it out. Now, if we take a tape measure, these should line up on the bottom. Good enough. And that's how I do it. But I think we're done. We'll take it back out to the camper.